purpose of this video is to show you some examples of Unit 3 style essay outlines. We're going to take a look at 3 examples, and we're also going to prepare for how you can be a good and helpful peer reviewer for your classmates today. So first, before we take a look at the examples of these style outlines, we're going to first take some notes into our notebook. So make sure you take out your notebook, flip to a new page, and make sure that you take these notes down. I'm asking you to check for 5 things as you work as a peer reviewer today on these essay outlines. I'm asking you to look for, are all the parts complete? Do they have every paragraph? Are they ready to write? The second question is a commentary supporting the theme? In their commentary, are they returning to this main theme that their essay is about, or are they kind of forgetting it? Are they getting off track? Number 3, are they explaining the literary element correctly? Do they have a correct understanding of the literary element that they're talking about, or do they not quite get it? Number 4, are they using academic language? If at any point they sound too casual, make sure that you write a comment and you let them know that they need to upgrade to academic language. And lastly, the 5th question, are any parts too long? Is their commentary going on for 5 to 6 sentences, or is it too short? Maybe in their commentary they've only got 1 sentence. That's too short because a commentary needs to be at least 2 to 4 sentences to be a good and substantial commentary. You can stop the video at this point if you're not finished writing down these notes. Okay, we're ready to move on now. We've got these notes. Keep that out on your desks while you're peer editing so that you can keep these 5 questions in mind as you're giving your classmate feedback on their outline. So here's an example of an outline that someone's written. This is their topic sentence. Shirley Jackson has a unique style of writing. Her stories are dark and mysterious and make them interesting to read. These 3 stories are different, but they are similar because they teach us the same thing, that once you get to know someone well, you'll see how they truly are. Okay, so the topic sentence is going to be just 1 sentence, so we actually need, this is actually not following the 5th question. It's too long. We need to cut it down to 1 sentence. So you're going to click this button up here that says add comment. Say too long. It needs to be just 1 sentence. Okay, let's keep reading. At the beginning of Charles, Laurie starts going to kindergarten, and after school, when he gets to his house, he always tells his parents about this boy named Charles. He doesn't really say much about him. The only thing he mentions is how Charles is always being fresh and gets in trouble by the teachers. Wen was telling his parents this at the time, and he sits quietly and spots his dad and says something really rude to his dad. For the most part, this context is really clear. It sets up the evidence really well. I think this part is just a little bit confusing, so I'm just going to ask them to look at this part again. Okay, now we've got our evidence. Hi, Popule Desmot. Oh, missing a page number. Let them know. Now to our commentary. Remember, we want to make sure that the commentary is supporting the theme. This is very important. Laurie said something out of nowhere to his dad that seemed disrespectful, and to me, I think that there's something going on with him because you don't randomly say those things to your parents. Also, the weird thing was that he just sat there and spotted his dad and said that to him. So right here, I think the commentary could be a little bit more clear. This person is being really descriptive about what's happening, but they're saying there's something going on with him, the weird thing. This person could be a little bit more clear about their commentary. So right here, they're not quite explaining the literary element as clearly as it could be explained. right? And their literary element here is foreshadowing. So maybe they could specify, talk more clearly about foreshadowing. Be more clear. Yeah, be more specific. Okay. At the end, there's a plot twist where there was no such thing as a kid in kindergarten named Charles. All this long, it was Laurie. He was the one misbehaving in class, and he calls it being fresh. Okay, so are they coming back to their theme here in their commentary? Not quite. Let's remind ourselves of what their theme was. Their theme was, once you get to know someone well, you'll see how they truly are. They're not quite coming back to that here. They're close, but not quite returning to the theme. Okay. So this is just an example of a close peer review of one person's outline. Okay. We're going to look at one more. Okay. We've got another outline from one of our classmates. We're going to start from the intro paragraph. And right off the bat, I noticed that number one, are all parts complete? They're missing their hook and thesis statement for some reason. Maybe they overlooked it, but make sure you let them know. And they're going to now put this into their rough draft. They're not going to put it into their outline anymore. They're going to just start writing that in their rough draft. But they need to know that they're missing these parts so that they include them in their essay. Otherwise, they're not going to have an intro paragraph at all. Okay. Let's look at their body paragraph number one. In Shirley Jackson's story as Charles in the Lottery, Jackson shows a mixture of manipulative and brutal style of writing in her story so it can connect to a universal theme of all senseless violence has its roots. Okay, so that's their topic sentence. It's one sentence, so it's not too short or too long, it's just right. Okay, here we go. Their context. Laurie says, noticing his father, "Hi, Pops, you old desk mop." This is an example of foreshadowing because it shows that Laurie does not respect his parents, which shows that he is not an angel, but a very rude kid who is mean to kids and other kids. Okay, so we've got evidence in here already, even though this is the context. I'm a little confused, so I'm going to let this person know. Why do you have evidence in your context? And then it seems they have another piece of evidence here. At the meeting, I looked over the faces of the other mothers. This is when the mother is at the meeting and she's looking over the faces to see which one looks sad enough to be his mom. But really, it is her that is Charles's mother. This connects to our focus on foreshadowing because it's foreshadowing the twist at the end of the story. Okay, so we've got a pretty clear explanation here. So let them know that they're doing a good job with that because we want to be making sure that they're explaining the literary element correctly. And now to the commentary. The first quote is an example of foreshadowing because it shows that Laurie does not respect his parents and is very rude to them and rude to the other kids. This quote helps us understand Laurie's true nature and that he lies to lots of people because he does not want to get into trouble with his parents. So this is not quite academic language. Wanna is not academic language, so make sure they know that. And are we returning to the theme at the end of this commentary? Question number 2. Helps us understand Laurie's true nature. I'm going to look back at this theme again. The theme is all senseless violence has its roots. All senseless violence has its roots. Laurie's true nature because he does not want to get into trouble with his parents. They're pretty close. They're talking about the same thing, but they're not as clearly overlapping as they could be. So just let them know that maybe they can work on it again. They can rephrase that before they put it into their rough draft document. So we've seen 2 examples now of your classmates' outlines. This is the feedback that we want to give, and these are the questions that we want to focus on as we give them feedback as peer reviewers.